Hey, welcome everyone. We should start in, I'll say, seconds now. Um, so get comfortable, get your tea, coffee, or water, whatever you need. But the idea here is, as Andres mentioned, we want you guys to experience firsthand how things will look like. How things look like with Dynamics Field Services solution, and we want to ensure that you get enough idea about the solution set that you can visualize implementing something like that within your own organization, with your own customization, with your own data, with your own elements kind of thing. So that kind of the solution becomes built for you kind of thing. This is extremely customizable and extensible solution. So we'll go into those details in a few seconds now. So again, I'm going to officially welcome everyone. Let me take the presentation. If it responds. Sorry. Oh,
There we go.
there we go. Okay. Uh, So this is basically our hands-on lab experience, and as I said, that we want you guys to feel the solution. So Andres and Melody will be posting certain links and details, how to log in and how to go into the details, and we'll walk you through that. At any given time, if you have any question or anything like that, please feel free to ask that question. Um, and we'll go about it. So let me quickly talk about, like, in general, what we are going to discuss today and what we are going to basically showcase things. Um, the field services solution is a solution which kind of help organizations to manage their resources, manage their tickets, work order systems, their data, which is kind of important for operating their team and like working them out. That's basically kind of optimizing the whole process and getting that data streamlined is what we are looking forward to. So we are going to go into these details. And the important thing to realize is that this is part of the whole digitization exercise that your organization might be going through, and it can optimize and it can kind of increase your bottom line and increase your business quite a bit with this. So let's get into, like, we'll go into the action about, like, how do we do about that. And one thing, as I said, that not one size fits all. So there is, uh, think about this solution as just a kind of a representative solution, but try to imagine throughout the session, try to imagine how it will look like within your own organization. Try to imagine that, hey, there are elements that you may want to adjust so that it kind of fits in your own processes, in your own systems and things like that. As part of this session today, we would also like to invite you guys to have a specific one-on-one session with each individual over here. And in that session, we will talk about, like, how these things can actually fit in within your own organization. We will record this, as we on this already started, and we already talked about Q&A portion. So let me take a minute and talk about us, why Advaiya, and who we are and what we're trying to do. Um, we basically are a technology implementation company, which makes sure that the technology actually works for your own benefit, for your own optimizations and ROI. Now, most of the times we are able to, like, take your existing implementations and existing investments that you have made and kind of enhance it with added solution sets that we can bring into picture in order to increase the adoption of the system, in order to increase the benefit out of the system, in order to optimize the system in a way that you get the right value out of the system. We do it in several ways, but the idea here is basically work with you in creating a strategy on how what kind of solution and how the solution is going to be implemented. We work with you on implementing that solution, create definitive insights and intelligence out of that system that can actually be applied back in coming up with the next set of strategic implementation ideas and solutions. The kind of solution services that we work on help organizations to create to do better decision making using technologies like Power BI and data infrastructure to come up with the right insights and right intelligence. We work on technologies like Dynamics 365, Power Apps, and all to provide the best customer experience and a great customer relationship management. Work on different tool sets in Office 365 and Microsoft 365 to overall increase business productivity. And we always keep technology in mindset so that we are staying current in terms of coming up with the innovative ideas, innovative solution, and utilizing the investments that you have already made in the technologies and those kinds of things. Have been in existence for quite a bit. We have got decent amount of customers and some difficult customers in our list over here as well. So we have worked on variety of customer base, right from the companies of the size of Microsoft and Google, all the way to small organizations and mid-sized organizations in pretty much throughout the world, I can say, but kind of focused mainly around United States, India, and Middle East. We have different offices across the globe, and we kind of come up with a kind of hybrid implementation approach, and have been like Microsoft Gold Partner for quite a time, and also have got credentials for Oracle, Sitecore, Amazon, and Google. So with that, I pass the baton to you, Andres. Please continue.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Dharmesh. I really wanted just Dharmesh to come in and jump in there just to kind of give everybody an idea of, why Advaiya makes sense, what we can do, and what we can help provide you. Now, this is meant to be as interactive as possible, okay? And, given kind of, who we've got on the call, I think something that I actually want to do here first is I want to make sure I align this as well as I can with everybody who's here with us today. So maybe Brandon, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off here today, I'm just kind of curious, what specifically are you looking to learn today? Or is there anything you have specific questions on we can address right now? Maybe, why you came to this session, if you wouldn't mind kind of sharing here with the group, trying to make sure we align this appropriately. And you're on mute in case you're speaking, just a heads up. Yvonne, how about yourself? Can you get us started? I think Brandon's probably having mic issues.
Well, I really just want to know more about all this. That is my objective at first.
Got it. So you're just kind of trying to get a little bit of feel of what this is, and just getting exposed to it. Awesome. Yes. Appreciate it. Thank you, Yvonne. Padma, how about yourself? Are you looking to learn anything specifically? Do you have any specific questions as to why you came out here today? Just want to give you an opportunity to express that if possible.
Well, I don't have any experience with this app, so I really want to learn about it and find out what it's possible to use in my organization. I'm in the mining production, so here in Chile. So that would be maybe a very good application to use in that.
Okay, that is awesome, Pablo. I'm glad you're able to join us. That is really cool. I'm looking forward. If you have any questions, just let me know. Mucho gusto, all right? Thank you very much. We'll go to Rojas, if that's okay, and then we'll go to Roosevelt right after. Just real quick, we got a few other people here. Rojas, are you there? Okay, Roosevelt, if you wouldn't mind jumping in here, I'm assuming it's probably just a mic issue. I'd love to hear from you.
So yes, so me too. So same as other people, I want to know how this technology work and how we can deploy it in mining field. So that's all I'm considering about that.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So you're in the mining in that field. I think this is honestly, this service is really just like Dharmesh was mentioning. I think it's really customizable. So I'm hoping you can see the vision here, and that's ultimately the goal. Santelices, if you wouldn't mind just finishing us off here. You're on mute, just FYI. Just trying to get a feel, maybe if there's something specific you want me to touch on, any particular reason you came here today, or maybe you're just looking for something to learn, that's totally fine as well, in case you're willing to share. Okay, not a problem, you guys. That's totally fine. I appreciate everybody who's able to jump in. I may be doing that, during the session every now and then. I like to make this as interactive as possible. I just think it's a little bit more fun. So, especially if a lot of us are coming here to learn today, I think the first thing that is relevant for me to do here is I want to set the stage, okay? Because before we really learn about what we can do here with field services, I want to really explain in detail why this is so critical. And I'm hoping this is going to resonate with everybody here on the call today. So I'm going to quickly share my screen here just to go over a couple slides here. So here you go. Okay, can you guys see that? And then I'll go ahead and we'll start this slideshow here. Okay, so why are we talking today about the field services solution? Well, one of the first things we need to understand is the service industry is evolving. Okay, we're driving serious change, and one of the primary reasons for that is this expansion, this quick move that we've done here into this virtual workforce. Right, you can see some of these statistics we got here from Gartner that are very relevant. Right, we see employees who are working remotely from distributed location. That's causing a strain on how customer expectations are rising, how they expect you to be able to deliver on your solutions. And ultimately, with the pandemic and everything going on, there's also an increase of risk and an increase of worry on health and safety, right? So these are all things that we are keeping in mind here. And so I think one of our goals is to be able to integrate technology into this problematic situation as much as possible to help expedite and to help implement these solutions that are going to help you do your business. Okay, but what are some new challenges? Okay, what are some examples that we can think about because of this change? Well, number one that I'll focus in on here is being able to adapt and scale resources to demand. Right, as we have our distributed workforce in place, it's going to cause a significant amount of strain and additional risk really on our business because of the fact that we're servicing people across the country at times, right? We need to have a consistent way to manage this, a single pane of glass. You might have heard that phrase before, right? Where we can have consistency in the way that we're interacting with our customers. Because if we can do this, especially across multiple support channels, we're going to be able to go ahead and combine all of the great pieces of data that we're pulling in from our business and be able to adapt that data and use that for insights to help service our customers more effectively. Right, we talked about how customers have very high bars for exactly how they're expecting you to commit to servicing them. Right, and so we're going to need to commit something there. We're going to need to be able to still implement these solutions in a way that are going to be effective without really putting too much of a strain on the business. And I think probably most important piece here that's going to apply to what we're talking about today is this concept of aging systems with disparate data and legacy service features. This industry has changed, and I'm going to talk about how that transition has happened here in just a second. But ultimately, one of the primary reasons things are changing is because we're able to capture data from so many different sources. And as we're doing this work, as we're able to, put this to use, we need to make sure that we're connecting them appropriately. We're using them as a way to really chart the best path forward and understanding how we can service our customers as effectively as possible. So, those are some of the challenges we're hoping to solve here. And so I just kind of wanted to set the stage here, but just kind of, going into this a little bit deeper. Why service is so critical for your organization. Well, people used to think, okay, given that I have this great product and I'm sending it out to all of my customers and they're going to need some type of support. Well, people approach this as a cost center initially. But what you've really seen in terms of growth and in terms of change here is that if you're able to do this appropriately, if you're able to really service your customers effectively, well, you're going to turn these interactions from a cost center to a profit center. Because what we're doing here is we're providing, better results for our customer service. We're providing our employees additional opportunities to cross-sell and upsell into these accounts. And ultimately, if we do this effectively enough, we're going to end up turning this from a cost center to a profit center, or ultimately to servitization, where we're really pushing the value of our product, not just from the mindset of, I'm going to give this to you one time. I'm going to service you as a customer holistically, and I'm going to be able to provide you that top level service with all of this technology enabling what I need to do. So, if you want to increase your revenue, if you want to build your business, if you want to help upscale your workforce and get a better reputation in the industry, shifting to this model of servitization is, I think, going to suit you very effectively, right? Because if we're looking here, right, if we're approaching this from a cost center perspective, right, we're thinking about, oh, I'm being reactive with my support. I'm worried about the time and materials and how that factors into my costs. I'm waiting to help people out until there's a break, right? This break, fix, repair model. I'm not being proactive, right? I'm not scheduling out effectively. I'm not utilizing my resources as well as I could, right? We are minimizing our ROI. We are minimizing our ultimate profits, right? If we're transitioning this to a profit center, our field engineers become our trusted advisors, right? Because they're providing that brand awareness. They're ultimately up leveling our customer service, and we're showing the value that we can provide to these customers, right? We're being proactive. We're helping manage our SLAs and make sure we hit those so that customers know they can trust us if anything ever arises, right? And I think really where we want to get to is ultimately to this point where I was talking about servitization, right? Just-in-time consumption, where I can easily track and manage my resources, my utilization rates by integrating the capabilities of artificial intelligence, integrating the technology that can help me drive insights for my business. And ultimately, what you see here is aligning sales with marketing and product development, right? Because as we're actually selling this, as we're pushing more business, we know exactly how this is going to incur costs, how this is going to affect the service end of our business. And so if we're able to combine this together and we're able to bring this again into a one-stop shop, a one platform that can manage all of this, help build out new revenue streams, think about all of the impact that you can have for your business. And so this is where I'm trying to hopefully shift your awareness if you haven't fully thought this way, right? Not that this service is going to be a cost center. We're trying to turn this service into something that's going to be absolutely critical for your business going forward. And so you can see here, what are some of the biggest problems that we see trying to accomplish this? Well, number one, just like I mentioned earlier, it's this reactive break-fix business model where I'm not trying to be prescriptive. I'm not trying to be forward thinking and trying to find out exactly how this might affect my business now and into the future. I am reacting. I'm waiting until something happens to then go address it, right? We don't want to be in that position. We don't want to have inefficiencies with scheduling out, right? If we have everything on paper, if everything's on an Excel document, we're managing things manually. Well, ultimately what happens is, number one, it's not as cohesive, it's not as put together, but also number two, right, there's an additional, potential for human error, right? Because humans are going to be managing everything. And so we want to try and automate this as much as possible. We want to take the burden of doing a lot of this work into the hands of technology that can do this more effectively, more efficiently, and ultimately to help drive the business forward. And then I think lastly, probably most importantly, poor technician enablement, right? If you're a technician, you're out in the field and you don't have access to information about the work order, you don't know whether or not your inventory is currently available, you don't know, how to actually get to the actual place, well, you are adding additional pain to that technician, right? You want to be able to arm them with everything that they need in order to do things effectively. Because ultimately, again, they're representing your business. They're representing what you can bring to the table. And so I think it's important for us to keep this in mind, that these are an absolute, these are blockers for us. And so we're going to try and find solutions to this. And hopefully I can show you and talk through some of the different ways that we can deliver this proactive service, intelligently schedule these resources, and ensure technician success here through the actual presentation today. So I'm going to go ahead and just close this out here. Close that out because, again, just wanted to present this problem to you, wanted to present this solution. There's a lot of things that go into giving proactive customer service that's extremely effective. It's not something that's going to get fixed overnight. But I think one of the ways that you can really think about the types of questions you might want to ask yourself. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send you a poll question here, because I think if the answer here is not what you're looking for, this is probably something that's going to interest you. So my question for you here today: are you currently enabled for customer self-service appointment scheduling, technician location information, right? How connected are your resources to actually produce these results? Do you have customers who can easily ask for help, have that automatically scheduled out, and also help enable the actual technician as well, right? I sent out the poll question. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'd love if you guys could give me a response here, because I think what's important here, and the reason I'm sending out this question, is you're going to be able to evaluate, is this something that could be beneficial to my business? Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. I just wanted to present the problem there. I'm hoping that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions for me before we move here into the demo? And Dharmesh, by any means, if you think I missed something there, feel free to chime in here as well.
Absolutely. And it's a great, sorry, I think there is an echo. It's a great introduction. Thanks, Andres. The thing that I wanted to add on to the kind of challenges that we were talking about is also a little bit of this proactive service component that kind of comes into field services solution, is that can the organization, can the services organization be prepared for what is coming next kind of thing? So can we have that kind of pointers to come to my system that can automatically ensure that the components or the machinery that we have deployed at a particular location is working smoothly, and in case there is a service maintenance that is going to be required in next 7 days or something like that, we proactively schedule that and proactively find the components and the inventory that is required for delivering those kinds of things. Similarly, if we are in the customer services kind of thing, if we know that the customer is going to ask for certain things at certain time, we need to make sure that we have got our inventory piled up properly, we have got our technicians scheduled properly, we have got load balancing happening across our geography and kind of services that we provide. So those kinds of, all of those things kind of come into this solution that we are talking about.
Absolutely,
You're
Dharmesh.
unmuted. Okay.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say you're
that
muted.
after I said it, I was like, yeah, I think I'm on mute because so thank you, appreciate it. Okay, so let's get here into the demo here, you guys. I wanted to provide a sandbox so that you guys can kind of touch and feel what this looks like. You should see in the chat window, I just went ahead and I put some a username and a password. Okay, it says Jamie at pmgdemo.onmicrosoft.com, password Dynamics365. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. This is what I want you to go ahead and do here. Okay, so if you're here, I recommend incognito or guest browser, just so that you don't have to sign out of your current account, right? So if you look here, I'm signed in here to my work. I can select it, come down here to guest, and I'm able to go ahead and open up a guest browser. Okay, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to office.com. And then I'm going to go ahead and sign in using these credentials. So I'm going to sign in here with Jamie. Let me go ahead and copy that in here. And then I'll go ahead and input this password as well. And as you'll see, as soon as I sign this in, it goes ahead and signs me in here to the demo environment. If anybody is having issues with this, if you're having problems, please let me know. I'll give you guys just a second here to get loaded up. But what we're doing here is, you'll notice this is an Office 365 or Microsoft 365, I should say, account. And built into this demo, what you'll notice is here on the left-hand side, we're going to have some capabilities here for specifically this Dynamics 365 field service that we're going to be walking through. Okay, just to kind of set the stage for you here, the story for this demo is that we are Contoso. Okay, Contoso is Microsoft's fake organization. We're a leading manufacturer of deluxe coffee machines, and we sell those coffee machines both B2B and B2C. Okay, we have a subscription model for reordering beans. We have service contracts for these models, and we also have extended warranties. So suffice. Go ahead. Okay. Suffice to say, we're going to be walking through, some of the ways that you can actually optimize your service for these products, right? Because, in this example, we've sold these coffee machines to several organizations. And so now we need to actually go through the process of actually servicing them when they have some type of issue. And so we're going to be walking through different examples here, hopefully that can highlight some of these capabilities that are built into the field service platform. And I'm hoping to show you here some of the different ways that this can help improve your business. Okay, so I'm hoping you've been able to get into the demo now. If you haven't, please let me know. That's totally fine. But let me go ahead and sign in here. Okay, so what I want you to do is here on the left-hand side, you see where it says resource scheduling. Go ahead and open this up for me. Okay, the reason we're opening up this resource scheduling is we're going to be able to actually walk through some of the capabilities that are built here into our organization, because our challenge here today is we're having problems predicting when equipment failures are happening, where disruptions are occurring, and we've got an issue here with this break fix model that we were talking about. And so, one of the things we're thinking about is how can we go ahead and actually schedule out these technician support cases more effectively in a way that's going to be timely, in a way that's going to be effective both for the actual technician as well as the overall organization. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of remote monitoring. Okay, we're going to be able to use its intelligence to really go ahead and have a predictable service in place every time we occur one of these situations where we need to help out a customer. Okay, we're going to be able to automatically schedule out a lot of our actual services by using the resource scheduling optimization feature. Okay, we're going to be able to monitor these and actually go ahead and proactively jump in. So let me go ahead and show you here how this might work. So if you're here inside of the demo, what I want you to do is go ahead and come here and click on Schedule Board. Okay, this will take just a second here to load. And what you're going to see here, apologies, is that here, if you look here in the open requirements, right, we don't have anything scheduled out just yet. If I go ahead and I scroll this up here, just so you can see this, we've got quite a few open requirements here. Obviously, we've got an unlimited amount because it's a demo. But the point is, if this was your business, let's say you've got all these requests in place that just came through. Okay, and so, if you've got the manager who's in charge of actually working through this, they got a couple options, right? They could actually go ahead and manually do this. They could actually just manually, individually select every single individual that they want to include into this. They could give them a time, they could give them a place. But of course, that's just going to be time consuming, right? It's not going to be the most efficient way to do things. And so let me show you how this resource utilization will actually work. So if you're here, go ahead and just select optimize unscheduled requirements. So you can kind of see how this would actually take place. Because what's actually going to happen, just to kind of give you an explanation here on the back end, this is going to automatically schedule jobs to the people, equipment, and facilities that are best equipped to actually go ahead and complete them, right? It's going to automatically schedule the technicians, send them all the relevant information, and again, have all of that consolidated into one succinct platform where they can go ahead and use that information effectively to get the job done. Okay, so you see here, and just in this example, we can see we automatically scheduled out these different work orders to these technicians. What it's doing here is, again, it's looking at their current schedule. It's understanding whether or not they're available. It's looking at their specialties, right? It's looking at how much this might cost the company. And what it's doing is it's using artificial intelligence to go ahead and actually do this in a way that's going to be most effective to the business. Am I missing something there, Dharmesh?
Nope, I think that's perfect. And the thing here is that the system allows you flexibility on multiple things. I mean, there are certain things that you can define in terms of each of the requirement, and then it can optimize scheduling in that way. Or else you can also do kind of an hybrid where there are certain things you want to manually schedule, there are certain things that you want to auto schedule, there are certain suggestions that you want to look at. So this is one way of looking at the scheduling board and using the optimized solutions that are available out of box.
Yep, absolutely. And you're totally right. We're not even talking, we're just talking out of the box, right? This is something that's built into it. But, if you wanted to customize this for whatever other metrics you were looking for, I think, kind of what Dharmesh was hinting at is you have really the flexibility to make this work for you as best as you want it to, which I think is important, right? All of our different businesses have different requirements. We have different needs. And so we want to make sure that the technology that we're using is aligning appropriately with that. Okay, so just quick little explanation there. I wanted you to actually see that work because I think it's really cool. But let me actually dive in here a little bit deeper just to kind of show you on the back end some of the capabilities you have for management purposes. So if you're here in the demo, what I want you to do is select on any one of these users on one of the work orders. So for example, I'm going to just select here on this one that was assigned to David So. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this again so that this pops up. And then I'm going to go ahead and select here on David, who's the actual resource. Reason I'm doing this is I want to show you, some of the, information that you can actually take a look at here as you're looking at your different resources, right? So I'm here. I can obviously see this is David. I can see what time zone they're in. I can see whether or not they're currently clocked in. I can actually see their email, their name, and if they've got a contact number here, I'd be able to take a look at that, right? So you're able to, again, organize the different metrics for this user. Additionally, go ahead and select on this field service piece, because I think this is really cool as well. Because what you're going to be able to see here is in real time information that corresponds to this user, right? So I can see what their hourly rate is, right? This looks like David looks like he's doing pretty well for himself, right? We can also see here the warehouse truck that they're actually taking advantage of. Again, whether or not they're clocked in, time off approval required. Additionally, we've got a characteristics option here as well. I can see that he is an expert and proficient in circuit boards, right? Additionally, he's also a heat bed sensor preventive maintenance specialist, right? So again, this is what field service is taking into play when we're talking about resource utilization, right? We want to make sure, okay, if I've got a situation where I need help with a circuit board and I've got two options, well, Dynamics is going to be able to recognize that, hey, David is the one with the experience. Let's go ahead and assign this directly to David. And let's, again, take the burden of having to do that from the user side, but have technology actually manage that for you, right? Important stuff. I think it's relevant to be able to show that. I can also see here under scheduling, right? I can see, what their schedule is. I can see what unit they belong to. I can also see, assuming this is all integrated, their work hours, pretty much everything that talks about who this user is. And I'm going to be able to manage from the back end exactly how I want to do this. So pretty cool stuff, pretty powerful. Again, what I'm trying to show you here is that we're bringing everything together under one pane of glass, right? We're consolidating this data. We're giving it a robust solution that's hopefully going to solve a lot of the problems you might have with how you're managing all this information, okay? So that's just one piece, right? The resource utilization along with the scheduling capabilities. Now, another thing that I want to do is I want to show you some of the analytics capabilities that are naturally built into this platform, because I think honestly, this is probably going to be one of the most powerful pieces of this platform. Okay. One of the things that I think is personally one of the most important pieces that I see going forward in technology is how you're actually capturing and gaining insights from your data. I always tell people by having the conversation, if you're not using this for data analysis, your competitor is, my friend. That's usually what I tell people. I think, analyzing data is always going to be getting better. And it's something that's picked up heavily, especially as we moved here into this cloud-based environment. And so I kind of want to show you, Dharmesh, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, just before we move into the analytic side of
Yeah.
the thing, I wanted to basically make sure that people realize that this particular scheduling assignment system can also take your location, GPS location, the work location, and all of those things in that are required. The system can work with its own native capabilities of GPS and geolocation capabilities, or you can it can kind of sign up with other third-party GPS solutions that you might have already deployed. So just wanted to add that kind of the location and the map capabilities that comes in out of box.
That's all built into this too, huh? Let me see if I can actually.
It may not work in the demo environment that was. I've seen that.
Yeah, I forget how I did this, but I saw this was it ours. Ah, man, I wish I should have
Yeah,
had that right. But you're totally right.
yeah, on
Huh?
the left-hand side, there's a filter and map view. If you click
There
on
it is. Yeah. Okay. Here it is.
and click on
Thank you.
map view,
Map view. There we go. That's what I
yeah,
was looking for. And so you'd be able to see here, right? Assuming obviously this was a real organization with real users out in the field, you'd be able to actually see where everybody's located in real time, right? Which is, I think, absolutely phenomenal. There's actually really cool videos on that. So it's pretty cool. And so I think really what this is coming down to, and one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys a question. Nobody's got a question for me. Really, what I'm asking you here is, would you be interested if I told you I could increase your company's first-time fix rates, right? If I can optimize this so that I know the appropriate user is always heading to the appropriate location, they have the resources that they need, which we'll talk about in the second demo today. You know, if I could tell you I'm going to improve your customer service, you know, I think it's relevant to at least have a conversation. That's my opinion, right? And so I'm just trying to show you, you know, what some type of impact this can play and how we're hoping this technology can help optimize the way you do business. So again, this is some of the optimization for scheduling. Let me get into the analytics piece. So if you go back here to office.com, what I want you to do is go ahead and open up this field service app. Okay, it's right underneath resource scheduling. And again, we are just showing you a demo here, you guys. This is not, you know, basically an explanation for everything that's possible here. This is really just giving you a taste as to what you can do. Because ultimately, just like Dharmesh mentioned, this is customizable, right? You can really get whatever insights you're looking to do. Where do you want to integrate your IoT sensors? What type of data do you want to pull? Right? Those are the questions you might want to be asking yourself. In this scenario, what I want you to do is assuming you're here in the field service app. Okay, go ahead and come here to service towards the bottom left. Okay, right here where it says service. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and click on resources. Because what I want to do now is I want to be able to take a look at my resources. Okay, you see all of my resources, meaning my users, right, my technicians. And I want to be able to go ahead and evaluate them. Okay, I could look at booking statuses, fulfillment preferences, scheduling parameters, all these other things, but that's not what I'm talking about here today. I want you to click on reports. Okay, under analytics and insights, I think this is really, really powerful. Okay, and something I absolutely want to cover here today. So what you can see here is we have some out-of-the-box reports that are going to be actually built out that are describing my actual customer service capabilities, right? I can see that my average work time per day looks like it's 41 hours. Okay, I'm getting good use of my workers. Looks like the average travel time is about 17.6 hours. Looks like my total miles traveled, 25,000. Average miles traveled per day, 373, right? I can see how my resource utilization is getting broken down, right? If this is an actual organization and we've got this much 95% idle hours, well, you know, we probably are not doing this to the best of our ability. You know, obviously this is the demo I can't actually show you, but what I'm trying to show you here is you can really break this down to get the type of information you're looking for. I mean, you can even do this by territory analysis, right? Try and understand based on the territory, how has that impacted how much my users are actually traveling? How has that impacted the duration of the appointments, the variance to the expected travel time, right? These are all things that I think are relevant. And additionally, what you'll notice here, if I scroll to the top, okay, because you can actually play with this as well, currently we have all of our resource types, right? Maybe I just wanted to look at inside of the facility, for example, or maybe I could actually just click on individual resources. And as opposed to seeing my organization holistically, I wanted to individually break down by the user, right? So I might want to go ahead and open up, let's say, David So, who we were just talking about, and try and take a look and get some analytics behind him specifically, right? What are his average work days? What are his total miles traveled? His average miles per day, right? His breakdown. Again, these are just an example, right? Dharmesh, maybe do you want to give them maybe an example here that you've seen that's been very effective here for analytics that they might want to be thinking about?
Absolutely. There are certain kind of analytics that are required, that are sometimes kind of useful in terms of optimizing our resource scheduling and all. There are metrics that our management typically look for, the utility and all that on this was pointing out to. But also there are things that can actually help you predict certain things, like if the number of work orders and number of requests that are coming in a particular month, we know kind of an average out of those. We can actually predict the number of resources that we'll need, and we can take this current analytics that you're looking at on the screen and kind of apply the predictive component in it and come up with a projected resource requirement and kind of per location basis kind of thing. So the thing that you are seeing on the screen right now can be kind of dimensioned out, or can be factored out by location, by resource type, by kind of services type that your organization may have. There can be different flavors of these things coming in together. And the important thing is the whole data is available for you to extend these reports to kind of reports that your organization may need. Again, I'm going to pound on this extensibility factor quite a bit on this thing, that this data set is kind of accessible by most of the data representation technologies like Power BI and all. And you can combine the data out of field services with the data out of CRM and ERP and bring up the insights that might be very useful for your organization.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Dharmesh. I think great insight there. I'm going to take a quick pause here. Maybe Brandon, if you wouldn't mind jumping in here, my friend. I know you were just trying to learn here, just kind of get started. I'd love to get your feedback. Is this something you guys are doing today? Does this look kind of cool to you? I'm just kind of curious. I'd love to get feedback if possible.
So I've mostly worked for small to mid-sized companies. So this is kind of a new thing in terms of, supply and demand and scheduling and so forth. But I do think this is the next generation of, you've got to get on board. I think what you said is if you're not using this, your competitors are. I agree with that. It's how do you get the adoption and the the full entity to get on board. So this is that's been a challenge from the standpoint of, I know these tools are valuable. I know these processes are going to be essentially required in the longer term, but it's a slow adoption. So coincidentally, a couple jobs prior, Dynamics 365 was one of the leaders in terms of the migration to a bigger and better system. We were already using CRM, which is the Microsoft version of Salesforce, so to speak. And so it was the leader to roll out to the broader company, but we knew it was going to be a slow and difficult process. So I don't work for that company anymore. Coincidentally, Scott and I worked together there. But I can totally see this, this transition, so to speak, for the small and mid-sized companies. The larger entities are already doing something on this scale. So I think that's going to be the big challenge for that market.
Absolutely. That's great feedback, man. I really appreciate that. I think that's good insight, and you're totally right. I think one of the things, I was doing another lab this morning on security, and I was talking about the Continental breach that happened earlier this week. And pretty much I was telling them, I was like, one of the reasons is they just weren't ahead. I mean, they didn't even segment their network, right? So somebody got in and they got access to everything, right? And that's just that just to me tells me that they didn't stay ahead of the times. And I think this is an example in a totally different context where, if we're not staying ahead of technology, if we're allowing technology to pass us and we're playing catch up, we're never going to be able to optimize what we're doing, because somebody's always got more capabilities than us. So Really appreciate that, Brandon. I think that was a really good insight for me. So thanks again. So this is the first piece here. Hopefully just trying to show you again how analytics can play a role here, how you can go ahead and take advantage of this to optimize the way that you're scheduling out your resources. Now, again, this was from the management's perspective. Okay, and what I want to also give you is I also want to give you what it might look like here from the actual technician perspective. Because if you remember, one of the most important things that I think a lot of these organizations are dealing with is how we're actually enabling our technicians, right? How is that relevant? And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and put some more credentials here in the chat window for you again. These credentials are for the actual user side of this. You can go ahead and actually do this in the browser, but what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to join this meeting from my phone, okay? And the reason for that is I actually want to show you what it looks like from the technician perspective, because most technicians that are going to be working here are not going to be sitting at a computer, obviously, right? So they're not going to be here online. Most of the time what you'll see is they're actually taking advantage of this through their mobile phone, or they're doing this through some type of laptop, some type of tablet or device of that nature. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is, let me go ahead and share my screen really quick here. Okay, and this is always interesting, right? You share your screen on the meeting. Only done it a couple times, actually really cool, so I'm excited for it. So let's see. All right, you guys should be able to see that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up this field service app. Okay, so you can see how I'm actually opening this up. Okay, so what you'll notice here is as I actually open up this app, let me go ahead and kind of set the stage here. So, the challenge here is that David, meaning, the guy that we were just talking about, this is the browser that we just got into here. He wants to ensure that he has all the necessary parts and tools to go ahead and complete this work order and optimize his route here to this site. Okay, and so what we're going to be able to do here today, hopefully, is show you how you're going to be able to take advantage of this field service capability to do just that. So if you're in here, hopefully on the website, you can also see this as well. I'm going to go ahead and open up this work order for the Contoso Coffee faulty circuit board. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And you'll notice this was automatically scheduled to David. And if you remember in the specifications, he was an expert for circuit boards, right? So this gives you an idea, again, how that resource utilization is actually working. So I'm going to show you here. First of all, obviously, we're here in the general section. And so, as he's working through this, what he's going to want to do is, given the fact that, he actually just took this order and he's about to head over, he's going to go ahead and click on this drop down here for the booking status. And we're going to go ahead and say that we're traveling. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that real quick. Okay, next thing that we're going to want to do here is I'm going to want to go ahead and go to the customer's time. Okay. And this way you can actually see here is I can actually show you a little bit about what David's going to be able to see on his end as he receives these different work orders, right? He can see here that the account name is for Contoso Coffee. I can also see that this is on the 3rd floor. Okay, that's good to know, especially if he needs to go ahead and find this somewhere. I can even see the address, right? I can actually see this on a map, right? I can zoom in a little bit and kind of get a better feel for exactly where this is located. And I can even click on get directions. And you'll notice it's actually going to go ahead and actually give me directions right to that. It's going to be a little far from me here in California, but Dharmesh, I'm sure in Seattle wouldn't be too bad.
No.
But what you'll see here, just kind of wanted to show you, that's possible. Let's say we went ahead now. Okay, so I was able to get in here. I was able to go ahead and get directions to the actual work site. And so let's just pretend I'm David. I went ahead, I plugged them in, I got to the work site, and now I can go ahead and tell the team, okay, what actually happened. So I can go ahead and say, you know what, this was actually, as opposed to 1,000 miles, this was actually 5. Okay, and I can see that this was actually a 30-minute drive, right? Again, we're consolidating all of this information here so that we can provide this to the organization as we're going through this, right? And given that I just got there, I'm also going to want to go ahead and go back here to the general tab, because I'm not traveling anymore. I'm actually currently arrived. Okay, and I'll go ahead and I'll save that. Again, what are we doing here? We're providing updates. We're providing all this information. I mean, actually, you know what? I should probably put in progress, because let's say I just went ahead and I just started talking to my friend. Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Go
one thing,
ahead.
yeah, one thing I want to mention is most of these things automatically happens behind the scenes, in the sense we can actually integrate the geolocation capabilities to automatically calculate the miles that you have traveled, put in your travel time, and also in certain scenarios you may want to like highlight if a customer if a person is reaching or if the technician is reaching the customer site within like 30 minutes or so, you may want to like generate certain text or SMS out of the system that, okay, hey, your technician is arriving within 30 minutes or something like that. All of those things are fairly automated within the system and can be configured for your purpose.
And
So
that's a great point, Dharmesh, because that's not something we're going to be covering today. Is the actual customer interaction, right, with the user. But it's really cool, right? You can even have a dedicated page, if I remember correctly, Dharmesh,
yes,
about for the customer, where the customer can basically say, okay, you know what, I want to go ahead and get a time for 3 p.m. tomorrow, right? They go ahead and they submit that time. It goes ahead and gets automatically scheduled out through that scheduling resource. It gets assigned to the actual to the technician, and then once the technician goes ahead and starts running, getting over there to the actual appointment, it automatically can notify the customer, just like Dharmesh was letting us know here as well. So really cool, right? This is all integrated, but I'm just trying to show you, right, what this is going to look like from the perspective of the technician. I think it's really powerful. Okay, so we've kind of gotten the progress update there. We're in progress. We're here. It took us, however long, and we've actually been able to make it to the site. So now what we're going to want to do here as the technician is I'm going to want to go ahead and open up this service tab. Because what's going to happen here is this is going to go ahead and show you how Dynamics 365 for field service is going to be able to help the technician get the job done. Okay. First thing I'm going to go ahead and show you here is I can actually see here I've got 4 different tasks that I need to complete. Right. I need to confirm the parts to replace. I need to validate and document. I need to perform diagnostics on the machine. And I need to go ahead and ultimately check the device. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and confirm the parts to replace. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select on this. All right. So if I take a look here, my description is I need to go ahead and diagnose and confirm which parts of the coffee maker needs. Okay, so I need to confirm right away whether the following parts are available in truck 2. Do we have a circuit board? Do we have an LED panel? Do we have a wiring kit? Okay, again, all of this information is going to be directly available to the actual technician when they're on site or when they're on the way to the site. Again, the beautiful part of this, though, is we're bringing together everything we need into one platform. Because what I'm able to do here as the technician now is, okay, I need to confirm whether or not these 3 parts are available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and head back. And I'm going to go ahead and open up here on the left-hand side my product inventory. Okay, because what I can see here is, okay, I do have the LED screen, I do have the circuit board, I do have the wiring available all here in truck 2. Okay, so my first job, understanding whether or not these actual tools are available, is a green success. Okay, so that's good to know. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to my bookings. I'm going to go here to my work order. And I'm going to go here back to the, where are we? Service tab. And then here for confirming parts to replace, I can come in here now and I can go ahead and confirm that these 3 are currently available. So I'm going to go ahead and select here and let them know that this is currently available here. And I can say progress 100% because I've confirmed they're all available. The result is a pass, total success. And let's say this took me 15 minutes. Okay. And what's great about this is, again, I go ahead and I update this. I save this, must match the work order. Probably an error on the demo, but I'll go ahead and I'll discard this. I just wanted to show you that, because what I'm able to do here is I confirm that, and I can go ahead and give the green check mark and say that we're good to go there on the service task, right? So again, we completed one of the steps, right? But what you'll notice is we have more than just confirming whether or not the parts are available. Because additionally, what we need to go ahead and do here is we also need to evaluate everything else that we need to do. The next thing that we have here is we actually need to perform diagnostics on the machine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. You'll notice here that we need to determine issues with the circuit board by following these steps. Okay, so we need to go ahead and ensure the coffee maker is in a safe location. Again, what you'll notice here, and what I'm trying to highlight, is we can really walk the technician through the entire process and have that built out directly inside of this platform. Right? What we're doing is we're providing best practice recommendations. We're providing them an idea of how they can do this appropriately. And we're giving them pretty much an area where they can document everything that we need as the business to go ahead and get some analytics in place. Right? I think that's a very relevant point here because it helps bring together the whole solution. So, as the technician, I'm going to have to obviously answer these questions, right? So let's just say, for example, okay, it is absolutely in a safe location. Okay, then we have to go evaluate. Is the heat light flashing on the touch screen? Okay, well, the notice is no. Okay, that's something that I notice here as I'm evaluating this actual service. Then I want to go ahead and say, select all the 4 types, remove the back panel, top left screw, top right screw, bottom left screw, bottom right screen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's just say we did all of this. Okay, because again, we're walking the technician through all the different steps that they need to do to actually confirm this work. Okay, how would you describe the connection wiring, right? This is all relevant because what we want to do here is we want to be able to save all this data in this account. As we're evaluating this, as we can look at this maybe a week or 2 weeks from now, we're going to want to be able to go ahead and make sure that all of this relevant data is currently available for us to be able to reference in the event that we need it. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to say is we're going to say that this is heavily used. And obviously what this is telling the technician here is, we've got some issues here. It's been heavily used. We probably need to go ahead and make some changes here. Okay, and then we're going to have to determine here, does the wiring need to be replaced? Well, the answer is going to be an absolute yes. And we can go ahead and actually put this inspection. Let's say this happened today. And let's say this happened at, let's say, 11 a.m. Okay, again, we're capturing all of this information. I'll show you one of the really cool things here that you can do as well is you're also going to be enabling the power of video and pictures, right? Because I can actually choose a file, you'll notice here, from my actual photo library, or I can even take a photo or video, right? You'll see me taking a picture. I'll just take a picture here on my keyboard, and I'll use that photo. Okay, it looks like that picture is too large. But my point is, right, you're going to be able to integrate all of these tools directly into this actual work order, right? And then I can go ahead and complete this out. I can say this was a total pass or this was a fail, assuming, something was going on. And something else I wanted to also show you here, okay? You would also be able to integrate some of your actual remote assistance here in the event that you don't know what's going on. Because this platform is directly integrated with Microsoft 365, I'm going to be able to jump on a meeting or a call with any one of the resources that I might need, assuming I don't have the experience to actually accomplish this. There's also some really, really, cutting edge tools as well for this, like HoloLens that you can actually use as a way to give them a perspective for what exactly you're looking at. Really, really cool stuff. I'm not sure, Dharmesh, if you got any cool, kind of statistics or facts there. I just think that's a really central piece here that we can take advantage of inside of this as well.
Absolutely, and sometimes we can feel that augmented reality or HoloLens, and they may be kind of cost prohibitive, but these systems actually allow you to do a live interaction with the video camera, and you don't need like a specialized equipment for doing a lot of kind of hands-on session or like talking to an expert kind of scenario that you might you might need within your system.
Absolutely. So I didn't want to cause errors here in the demo, so I'm just gonna go ahead and discard this, just so we don't run into problems. But just wanted to show you, okay, we've been able to do that. And let's say we went ahead and we performed that diagnostics. So we went ahead and we did that. We're successful there. Okay. Now, what we're going to want to do here next is we also need to go ahead and understand, what's going on here, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and click here on the validate and document. Okay. Or actually, sorry, check the device. Almost missed that. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, as you can see, is I can go ahead and I can add a description. It's broken. For example, right? It's super simple, right? You probably want to be a little more descriptive than that. What I'm showing you is you can actually go ahead and provide your expertise there. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm in the process of doing this. Maybe I just completed this. Maybe the actual duration was actually really short. It took about 15 minutes, just like we thought it would. Assuming this matched everything, we can see who the owner of this is. I can even see a timeline for some other changes I may have made or some other related activities or connections that are necessary in here, right? But assuming we checked that device, we went ahead and we did that. Let's just go ahead and give ourselves a green check mark right here. And then the last thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do here is we want to make sure that we validate and we document everything that we're doing. Why is this important? Well, this is important because we need to make sure that we take everything down. And as you see here, it's a very nice view for the technician so that he or she has the ability to do this in a way that's relatively simple for them to actually accomplish, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click here on validate and document. You can go ahead and see, is it working properly? We can add notes, replaced wires successfully. Is the machine now brewing? Yes. Again, we can choose a photo or actually take the photo if we wanted to here as well. I can put a time of inspection completion. I can go ahead and let them know, we're 100% completed. And again, you're going to have all of the specific information here, the work order, the incident number, the asset, the booking, the contact that are going to be relevant here to this actual work that you need to accomplish and are ultimately going to help you do this job as effectively as possible. What I'm trying to show you here is ultimately that we're trying to empower our technicians as much as possible, right? We're trying to find value in gaining customer insights in real time, right? And I'll send a polling question out here for the team here because I think this is, again, another way that I'm trying to really kind of bring together this story and trying to explain this to you. If I told you I could help you find value inside of your customers, right? Help you in real time associate what you need, enable your technicians and provide them these resources, right? Would that be interesting? I think for a lot of us, it makes total sense, right? Because again, we're providing our organization enhanced capabilities that we may not have had previously, right? And then I could go ahead and give the green check mark and we'd be done here with all of these service tasks. Now, I did also want to kind of show you here, because I didn't fully go through this. We have these tasks that we need to complete right here towards the top. But we're also going to have some more information that's located here in the service section, right? Look at this. I actually have a linked article specifically letting me know how to go ahead and actually replace this LED screen, right? This is going to be built in directly here into this actual work order. Because again, we're enabling that technician by providing them as much information as they need, right? I can see the products that are associated with this specific situation. I can actually go ahead and see the incidents that are occurring here. And I also have some more information, right? I got instructions. It's damaged and we need to replace it. It looks like we have erosion of wiring that connects the LED panel to the circuit board. We have an estimated subtotal of how much this might cost the customer. And again, we're empowering the technician by giving them access to everything they need. There's also a note section here. So, as you're actually going through the process of, doing this, maybe I want to say, customer was unavailable, let's say, for example. Well, maybe I want to go ahead and I want to save that note here so that next time I actually go through this, I know that, last time this didn't necessarily work out because they weren't available. And so again, we're trying to keep all of this in mind. I'm trying to show you how we're using these resources and how we're enabling technicians through these capabilities. Ultimately, this is out of the box. Okay, this is just a simple demo that is not customized to maybe your needs as a business. But what I'm trying to show you here is that regardless of what your needs are, we can make that happen for you. So pretty cool stuff here. Dharmesh, you look like you want to add something in here to the conversation.
No, I think you just started touching the point of like how do we make this work for your organization. Think about this as a generic platform that's available. We can define how your work order and how your ticket type looks like. We can define how what kind of activities and services that your technicians or your field resources provide, what kind of steps they need to follow, what kind of knowledge base that we need to provide them. So all of those things are completely configurable and can be easily added into the system because the native platform allows you to do those kinds of customization. The other thing that is basically we saw the form factor of mobile phone, which is the most commonly available, and you guys are welcome to use the same credentials and download the application that Adres was using. It's called Field Services for Mobile from Microsoft, and you can actually experience the whole thing on your phone. But the similar thing that you can actually use iPad like devices or Android tablets kind of devices, and the same application is available to give you a slightly bigger form factor. So sometimes your technicians may have, like, I mean, especially in different kind of industries, you might have bigger equipment and all, and you might need a bigger form factor to look at the details and everything. You can use iPad screens for that. And uh, uh, basically using the iPad, you will have the similar kind of interface. And then another thing that you can integrate is basically having signature capability. Like, hey, I have finished the work, and you want to get a signature sign off from the customer right away. That's again available out of box with Microsoft Dynamics. You can just go ahead and sign it. If you are using something like DocuSign agreements or Adobe agreements, all of them have integration capabilities out of box to work with dynamic systems. So those things are again kind of help you streamline these things within your organization. And important thing is adoption. I mean, I think Brandon, you picked that topic that, hey, how do we get these things adopted within organization? It is important to make this as streamlined and as smooth as possible for all the users within the system, so that it is not taxing for them to utilize these things, but instead it is kind of empowering them to use and provide this information. And those are the things that will start coming up once people start looking at the analytical reports that are coming out. The kind of things that you can also do is like utilizing the data that is being collected on the mobile platform or on these things to fill up all the paperwork that typically a technician has to do after finishing up the job. So you can streamline and automate that thing that can actually help save time for technician, and technician will start loving these kinds of things and start adopting solutions like these. So those are tricks and things that can come in order to get the adoption increase and the value realization, kind of speeding up that value realization on the systems.
Absolutely. I mean, Jarmesh, you just take it to another level, my friend. You got all the stuff. I'm just doing the generalized overview here. That's awesome. Ultimately, what I was hoping to show you guys today is more than anything how you can bring everything under one single pane of glass. I think that is just so powerful, you guys. We're connecting our data, we're connecting our resources, we're connecting our platforms to make this all work as efficiently as it can, right? We're enabling our technicians, we're enabling our management team, right? Because ultimately, if we do this appropriately, we bring this all together, we can help scale your business, we can help optimize your services. And ultimately, I love this catchphrase that they got for you. I wrote it down specifically. We can help you transform your customer experiences. I love that. I think that's what it's all about. I think ultimately we want to get better as a business consistently. And again, we got to use technology as effectively as we can to do this. Now, I did want to share one last thing with you guys. Okay, again, we're all about enabling our customers. We're about giving them options and helping them understand how they can actually go about implementing these things. A lot of customers, their main concern is not necessarily getting access to the technology itself. Their primary concern is ultimately, okay, I've got this. how can I actually go about the process of enabling this, adopting this, and making this a piece of my business? Okay, I wanted to quickly show you here. We're really excited to share this. We actually put this together specifically just to kind of address customers who may be interested in exploring this a little bit deeper. We believe assessments, proof of concepts have to be a part of everything, right? Everything that we do is going to be something that's going to fit your business as effectively as possible. And in order to be successful at that, we need to first understand how you need to do this. Okay. We've got multiple options for you. Okay. We do an assessment. We understand your environment. We try and put a path forward. You can either go standard, completely out of the box, kind of some of the things that I was showing you here today, and you can go ahead and take advantage of this. We'll be there to help you with education, with adoption, with end user support, and ultimately trying to help you implement this in your actual business. We've also got an advanced option where we can go ahead and actually customize these solutions like we were talking about today, right? Some of those different bubbles, some of those different options probably don't correspond out of the box to your specific users, your customers, and everything like that, right? Maybe you want to integrate some more analytics, some more Power Platform automation features, right? This is where you're going to be able to go ahead and take advantage of that here inside of our advanced package. And then ultimately, if you want all the really cool buzzwords, you want the HoloLens, you want the ability to go ahead and actually use a lot of AI, IoT devices to go ahead and streamline a lot of information and data, well, we're going to be able to go ahead and actually offer you our comprehensive package that covers a lot of those different things. So just wanted to give you a quick little heads up here. There is options. There's a route to market here in terms of how you can actually move forward here if you're interested in kind of exploring what's possible here. I know for a lot of us, this may have been our first introduction. And so I think education is probably one of the most important things you can do. You know, I think it's important to really understand the technology that's available to you and explore different options, okay? You know, field services, I think, applies to a lot of organizations, but maybe it's not the best for you. But I encourage you, research it, understand it, get a feel for it, because you know, if you're not doing it today, I promise you there's going to be a lot of benefits that you can receive simply by just exploring and understanding what's possible. Dharmesh, what did I miss, my friend? What did I miss?
No, perfect. Actually, the important part of phase zero, as Andres was talking about, is basically kind of understanding your organization, kind of understanding the processes that you might be following. And many times in our experience, what we have seen is that during this phase zero, we kind of end up working on transforming your processes as well. We kind of come up with ideas that, hey, there are certain legacy processes that might be going on forever for some specific reason that is no longer valid. This kind of refresh can actually help you eliminate those kinds of inefficiencies just by understanding and assessing the situation. So there is the bigger component of understanding your processes and coming up with the right set of transformation that needs to happen within your organization is actually part of phase zero offering, and that itself is quite valuable. And with that phase zero, we will be able to come up with the right approach, which path to take, which direction to take, and basically help you visualize and kind of create kind of an experience that it might look like ultimately when the implementation is complete. So during the phase zero, we work with you and analyze this your business, come up with the right path, talk about different transformations that need to happen, give you a picture of how the things will look like with your own data set. We'll take a sample of your data set and present that as a kind of a proof of concept solution to you. So please, this is the next step that we would recommend. And as part of this attending this event, we would love to connect with you and do a kind of a personal one-on-one session and understand some of the things and kind of create a vision for what can be done, kind of thing. So one of us will be reaching out to you and see if you would be interested in going forward after or looking at a deeper solution development ideas that can come out within your organization.
Awesome. I told you guys I was trying to get 15 minutes here for Q&A. I got 11. but I think that's not too bad. So let me go ahead and open it up to everybody. I think this has been awesome. I'm hoping I didn't confuse anybody. I'm hoping I didn't say something wrong, but it's been great. And I just want to give everybody an opportunity to ask, not really me, more so Dharmesh. He's the one that's got all the knowledge here about, how we can implement this. And we are very happy to service you in whatever way you need. We'll definitely be following up and making sure we can help, drive your business towards success as much as possible. So thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate your time. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Take care.